In this task, we'll take a look at enterprise architecture and how your information system fits into the security and IT architecture of your organization. So stay tuned for more. In this video, we'll be talking about task P16, enterprise architecture. Determine the placement of the system within the enterprise architecture is the task we're doing with P16. Potential inputs include the security and privacy requirements, organization and system level risk assessment results, enterprise architecture information, security architecture information, privacy architecture information, as well as asset information. Expected outputs include updated enterprise architecture, updated security architecture, updated privacy architecture, and plans to use cloud-based systems and shared systems, services, or applications. So we're definitely going to update some architecture in this task. Primary responsibility for this task are the mission or business owner, the enterprise architect, the security architect, and the privacy architect, and they're supported by the chief information officer, the authorizing official or authorizing official's designated representative, the senior agency information security officer, the senior agency official for privacy, the system owner, the information owner, or information steward. This aligns to the SDLC lifecycle steps for a new system. It aligns with initiation, concept requirements and definition, and if it's an existing system, it aligns with operations and maintenance. For this task, there is no alignment to the cybersecurity framework. Enterprise architecture is a management practice used to maximize the effectiveness of the mission business processes and information resources to achieve mission business success. An enterprise architecture can provide greater understanding of information and operational technologies intended in the initial design and development of an information system and is a prerequisite for achieving resilience and survivability of those systems in an environment of increasingly sophisticated threats. The enterprise architecture also provides an opportunity for the organization to consolidate, standardize, and optimize information and asset technologies. An effectively implemented architecture produces systems that are more transparent and therefore easier to understand and protect. Enterprise architecture also establishes an unambiguous connection from investments to measurable performance improvements. So we covered a lot in those last 3 slides. What we're trying to determine in this task is where does your information system align with the different architectures of the organization, and to ensure that you're using technologies that are compliant and integrate with those different technologies. A good example is if our security architecture has a specific type of logging and security event management, we want to make sure that the system we build is compliant with that and can plug into that. In the same vein, we want to make sure that if we have a security architecture that has a specific type of antivirus or malware protection, that malware protection is compliant on the system we're building. Placement of a system within the enterprise architecture is important as it provides greater visibility and understanding about other systems, both internal and external, that are connected to the system and can be used to establish security domains for increased levels of protection for the system. So we want to know where, again, we're saying, where will this system live? Is it going to be in the DMZ or the demilitarized zone? Is it going to be in a protected enclave? Is it going to be on the normal environment with other systems? Where is it going to be? Because that's going to provide different levels of protection and different levels of control requirements. So we have to know, where will this system be and what will it interface with? Security architecture and privacy architecture are integral parts of the enterprise architecture. These architectures represent the parts of the enterprise architecture related to the implementation of security and privacy requirements. And those requirements we developed just a little bit ago in a previous task, and now we're going to see how, when we put the system in place into the environment of operation, how can we ensure that those privacy and security requirements are met with? Maybe there's a specific part of the network that we need to put the system in so that it meets the requirement levels that were defined earlier. The primary purpose of the security and privacy architecture is to ensure that the security and privacy requirements are consistently and cost-effectively met in an organizational system and are aligned with the risk management strategy. So we want to be consistent. We don't want to have system A that has strong controls, strong privacy and security controls, and strong implementation of requirements, and then right next to it another system that has a low implementation of the controls and low implementation of those requirements, so that potentially an attacker could attack the lower protected system and then gain access to the higher protected system. We want consistency in the way we integrate these systems. We want consistency in the way we implement controls. We want consistency in the way that we enforce requirements. That way we have a standard measure across the organization, and that has to be cost effectively met. That means we can use the same types of system to increase the volumes of scale to get the benefits of that by being able to do the same thing across different systems to meet requirements, as long as it meets with the risk rating level. The security and privacy architectures provide a roadmap that facilitates traceabilities from the strategic goals and objectives of organizations through the protection needs and security and privacy requirements to the specific security and privacy solutions provided by people, processes, and technology. So it draws the line between a lot of the tasks we've done up to this point to the point we're almost getting ready to implement these requirements and controls within the system itself. References for this task include Special Publications 800-39, 64, 160 Volume 1, the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, and OMB FEA. In this module, we discussed task P16, its inputs and outputs, roles and responsibilities, SDLC and cybersecurity framework, lifecycle alignment, enterprise architecture, resiliency and survivability, opportunities, system placement, security and privacy architecture, consistency, roadmap, and of course, references. If any of this doesn't look familiar to you, I suggest you go back and check that part out on the video again. But if it looks good to you, continue on to the courseware or watch the next video, and we'll see you there.